Hey everyone, CMattDye here. Thanks for stopping by, checking out the video. Hopefully you're having an awesome day. And I want to get into the charts, talk about a couple things, and see what's going on. So I haven't really made a trade recently. Last trade was probably a week and a half ago. I'm really just waiting on the markets to see what is going on. And then I'll make a trade after that. So there's really no rush when making trades. You know, I've been trading for over 2 decades now, and the what I've learned is less is more. It really is. So there's no reason to, be in the market all the time unless you're in some pretty decent swing trades, which I'm in the Aussie dollar trade right now. I just got stopped out on soybeans. I trade futures as well. But this focuses on crypto, so that's what I want to focus on here. So let's talk about the total market cap of crypto. What are we looking for? Well, you can see in my Elliott wave here, I have a 1, 2, 3, and I'm looking for a 4. Now, do I think this is going to be the bottom and we're going to run to an all-time high? No, I don't think so. I know some people out there, some with big channels, are trying to say that, and they've been saying that for a long time. Over here, down here, now over here. What I'm expecting, and this is going to be the exact same as the Bitcoin chart, just because we've talked about Bitcoin is the major, and everything kind of follows Bitcoin right now. Now in the next probably year and a half, 2 years maybe, we're going to see some decoupling of that correlation. But right now, everything kind of moves in tandem. Right now, crypto are risk-off assets. So the S&P is dropping, crypto is going to drop. I've seen a lot of people try to talk about correlations. Correlation trading can really just rip your face off. Now, it's good when it works, but when it doesn't work, it can really not work. But anyway, let's get into the actual charts. So what am I thinking here? Right now, I'm thinking this is an A, a B, and a C, or a W, X, and a Y, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. Basically the same thing. This move here, obviously, is corrective. It's hard to call this impulsive, at least this part right here. So a W, X, and a Y makes sense. Now what am I thinking? I'm thinking that eventually this can get some movement upward, and around that 912 billion mark would probably start to show, okay, well, this is going to move upward. It's not going to move upward in a super strong impulse. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be choppy. I think it's going to come up somewhere up here, maybe up here, but it's going to come up and then probably come down again, and that's what I'm looking for. Now that up could be up here, it could be up here. Really have to wait and see what is actually going to happen. Now with what I'm looking at with Bitcoin, it's probably going to be right in here. It's going to come up, it's going to find that resistance, it's going to come down, and then what happens from there, we really have to wait and see. It can turn into a larger move up. It would come down in a choppy fashion, find that support, and then start to move. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking that this is going to be eventually find some support. Does it come down a little bit more first, or does it come up from here is really the question. And then once it does so, that $912 billion mark, once it gets over there and then getting over 1.03 trillion, those are going to be the two numbers on the total market cap chart. Gets over that, then I would think, over that 1.5, maybe somewhere between 1.5 and 1.8, possibly a little higher. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Really just kind of have to wait and see. Let's go to Bitcoin now. Bitcoin is the one that we look at. And if you look at this chart, it's nearly identical to the total crypto market cap. Now you're seeing price come down a little bit more here. Let me try to get rid of some of these. Get rid of this. Might as well get rid of this as well. Why not? Where's remove at? Okay. All right. So this is where we're at. It's coming down. It's coming down weak, but it's coming down in a choppy, weak fashion. So what am I looking for? Well, that you can see this blue line at 13,880. That is the line where these numbers would be invalidated. So because this is a wave 1, a 2, a 3, well, wave 4 cannot come within the territory of wave 1. The only way it can do that is in a diagonal, which is usually the beginning or the ending of a larger move. Right now, this definitely could not count as a diagonal, even if it came down. So if it came down, then I've talked about before, this would have to be a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, which would be an ending of the impulse. And then it can come down a little more. Now, what I'm thinking, and I think this is the highest probability at the moment, is we see this hold, and then it can start to retrace a little bit. Now that 19,311 is going to be that mark. I know I don't have a line here. I just deleted a bunch of them. But 19,311 is going to be that mark. Now if price gets over 19,311, and then it has to get over this high. So I guess I could zoom in. We'll call it 21,500. So 19,311, 21,500. It gets over those two, and we're probably going to see it come up a little more. It's going to find some resistance around that 28,000 to 32,000 zone. And then it's probably going to end up coming around that 40,000, maybe 43.5 to 48, something like that. That's a possibility. Now, if it holds below 19,311, and it can get above it a little bit and then roll back over, because sometimes Bitcoin does that. Like over here, for example, it got above the level, but then it just shot right back down. And that's because levels usually are zones. You can't just put a line in the sand and say, okay, well, this level, if price gets above it in any way, shape, or form, it's invalidated. Because price doesn't work like that. Price does its own thing, and different market environments give different scenarios. But as a rule of thumb, watch those two levels very closely. Right now, price, if it does come up from here, it would look corrective to me. However, the move I'm looking for, larger move, is a corrective move. So really have to wait and see what that turns into. But 19,311, 21,500, those are going to be the two levels to really keep an eye on. If it does hold below that and it starts breaking down, then we do have some levels down below. I just deleted them. But that 13,880, I am thinking it's going to support above that. But if it breaks down, we do have 10,471 as a level. And, it can get super, super weak if that occurs. However, if that does occur, I would expect it to chop up for a few days and then get that smackdown. So really kind of have to wait and see, but I kind of expect it to eventually get a higher pop up. So if it were to turn around and make a low, that would look better for an eventual move up. So really just wait and see. The next few days are going to be kind of important. So that's Bitcoin, the long-winded version. So let's go to Ethereum now. Ethereum, let me move this chart up and check it out. And I'm kind of looking at this the same as Bitcoin, where we can have this move down, up, and down, all being corrective. So if I'm looking at that all being corrective, then what can I really look at? We have this move here. Let me go ahead and delete these lines, because this blue one kind of shows. I don't really need the white ones. So this move up and this move down can all be the same pattern, and I would expect Ethereum to find some support down here. And then once it does find support, then it can start to move up a little bit and get that larger move. And I do expect this to be corrective, just like I expect Bitcoin's move to be corrective. I don't think it's going to be a start to a new high. I think we're going to have a little bit of a run up, and then maybe mid-January, February, we're going to get that smack down again, because I do believe we have easily 6 to 13 months left of the bear market. That's my prognostication here. So that is what I'm looking for. Some support. Ethereum can keep going lower. It's going to be ugly just because this move here is ugly so far. But it would need to stay below I'm going to call it 1680. Stay below that. And ideally, 14, I'm going to call it 1430. Staying below that. And those two levels are going to be important. Staying below them, we can see price come down again. And this level here at 840, so 1028 to 840 is going to be kind of important. And since 840 is so close to this low is going to come into play kind of importantly. So if I click on it, the low's at 881.56. 881.56. So that's the level we're watching. Price stays above it or not. If it gets below, we have this support at basically 850. So 850, and then all of this conjunction down to 700, 850 to 700. I really think the probability is on finding support and moving higher, but you have to kind of be prepared for each scenario. So you want to keep an eye on that 1430 level, and then that high of around 1670. So that's really what I'm watching with Ethereum right now. If it does start to push up from here, then 2000 to 2400 is going to be my target area. And it can go up a little bit more because Bitcoin can move up, and Ethereum has been and it will continue to be stronger than Bitcoin. If I go down here, this is the Ethereum to Bitcoin strength chart, and you can see here ever since January of 2020, over here it was stronger, weaker, but really January of 2020, Ethereum started becoming stronger than Bitcoin, and it's held that. So it should continue to do so, is what I would think. So maybe this comes down here. Bitcoin, it's weaker now, but that would kind of bring it apart and find that support and then push up again, and that would bring everything else back. So that's what I'm thinking there. Let's get back to the charts. So let's go to Cardano next. And Cardano is interesting. So in my last video, I did some classical technical analysis. Drew basically some channels. Do I do that a lot? Not really. But every now and then, like if I don't know exactly what's happening, I might do that. So Cardano, I haven't traded recently, but I am in Cardano long term. I mess with the CNFT market quite a bit, and I do fairly well in that. So even though Cardano has come down, because I was in CNFTs way over here actually is when I got in, and I was kind of in them, and now prices come down, but I've been doing so well. I'm up even though prices come down, so that's pretty good. So yay me on there. But let's get into the charts. I talked about that 32-cent level a lot over and it has held above 32 cents. Over here I was talking about 32-cent level, and it held and it pushed, and now it's coming down again, and it's really flirting with that area. It got below briefly, and it's held every single time. like 1, 2, 3, and this is a daily chart. So, 8 days or whatever. A couple days it got below and right back up, but it's right on it. So what does that say? I don't know. It's very, very ugly. However, we have this channel here, and it's held very well. You got that resistance there. You got the support over here, and now it's on this bottom channel line again of the larger channel. That's very interesting. It is also hitting this gray line, which is the 1-on-1 on this move here. So that's kind of what I would look for on support. It's very supportive. It's giving me supportive vibes. Like, this is support. And just from that, I would look at my analysis of Bitcoin and Ethereum and say, okay, well, this looks like it can find support here. After saying all that, let me get a little water, and then look at this. So I think this is a fifth wave of this whole move here. So this move down here is trying to make a wave 2. So if this is going to be support, which it looks like it could be, just because it's starting to get a little weak, I would kind of think maybe it comes up a little and comes down again. That would make sense. But if it gets over this level, but it gets over this level as well. So I'm going to call this 60 cents just because it's so close. Let me zoom out on this a little bit. Make it a little bigger. So if it were to get over 38 cents, that would be interesting. But it really needs to get over 44 cents and then 60 cents. Getting over those two levels would tell me, okay, well, this thing can go over $1. And then that Bitcoin, Ethereum move would already have started. So you kind of want to be in prior to it starting. But that's what it's giving me, those vibes. Right now, it has not found a low. Just like Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're looking for lows. Cardano is looking for a low. So I'm not getting long here. But I am interested and I'm watching. So that's where I'm at right now with Cardano. I don't really have a lot to give you, but it is looking like it's getting close to a low, and it would be a temporary low for a few months. So that's what I'm looking at with that. Let's go to Matic. And here we are with Matic. And Matic, same with Cardano. I'm thinking this was a impulse ending. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have our 1 wave and we're looking for a 2 wave. So what are we looking for now? Let's zoom in on this. So we had this move here, basically an A, B, and a C. Corrective move, moved up. So this could easily be an A, a B, come down in a C. But I think this is very corrective. So after it finds that low, wherever it might be, I had this box from last week just because it looks like a very good area. And since we are getting this now, it can come up again and then come down, and that would be nice. And then from there, we could get an eventual move up from there. I don't think this is going to be the start to a new high over $3, $6, but it is looking interesting. And, if it does actually set up, I might actually make a trade with this. I post all my trades in my Discord. It's linked down below. So if you're interested in seeing trades, check that out. And I also have an NFT project coming up in probably a few months. It's going to be based on that. But if you want to see my trades, check out the Discord. I show my trades. Sometimes we talk market. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking with Matic. So now let's go to Solana. And Solana, last time I talked about them, and I talked about them actually many months ago. If it broke that $22 mark, then it can go under $10. I talked about that, before price was even here. It was coming down. I talked about this area. And now we're seeing it come down. It's not quite under 10 yet. So I'm watching. This was a big drop here. So, but I'm watching price to see where it can go. If it stays between 15, we'll call it $15 and $9, it can stay between that and find support and start to move up with everything else. There's some collateral damage with Solana from the whole FTX debacle. I'm going to put out a video on FTX just because, a lot of people are kind of curious about that. Some people give out the wrong information. So I'm going to do a video about that coming out soon. And, we'll just wait and see where Solana goes to. Solana is looking for something. I don't think it's found a floor. It hasn't really found anything yet. I'm going to watch it closely and see if anything interesting does happen. I would say that 24.20 level is going to be very interesting. Of course, 22 to that 24.24, that's going to be an interesting zone just because that 22 level was a big area on the way down. And now that it's broken decisively, can it get back over there? Can it just pop right through it? Does it take a while to pop through it? Does it not pop through it? Those are really the questions going forward right now. So Solana kind of in no man's land. I'm not trading it, not even looking for a trade, but if something interesting does set up, I'll look at it. Now let's go to Binance. And if you like these longer videos, let me know, because I know I'm taking a while to talk about what's going on. So if you do enjoy them, let me know, and I would appreciate that. Let me delete this. Let me show the larger account first, and then I can talk about everything. So Binance, I'm thinking similarly to Bitcoin and Ethereum, where we have a 1, 2, 3 WX and a Y, and now we're moving up to find an eventual high and then come down again. That's kind of what I'm thinking with Ethereum and Bitcoin, and everything else I think is going to just follow in line with that, but the count's going to be slightly different. So with Binance so far, we have moved up fairly well. It stayed below 413, which is very interesting. So staying below 413, it popped up and now it's coming back down. So now what am I thinking with Binance? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me talk about it. So with Binance, I am thinking that, let me zoom in here a little bit. It kind of needs to move up a little bit correctively, like above 320, maybe 320, 330. And then from there get smacked down again. And I think this area right in here would be a perfect area to get long, is what I'm thinking. But that's what I need to see. I need to see it move up in a corrective fashion. May be able to short, maybe able to grab a short there. See it come back down. So really depends on what it's going to do. So that's what I'm watching closely to see what it's going to do. But right now I just don't see anything. I don't want to buy it here. I want to wait on it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm waiting on Binance, see if anything does happen that is interesting. So right now it's kind of just in no man's land, just like Solana. But it's not as bad off as Solana is. Binance is probably the best crypto out of the ones that I talk about, because everything else, Ethereum is not making a new low. Bitcoin is, Cardano is, Matic's not, Solana is, and Binance is not. XRP, I believe, is, or it's not. Okay. So XRP had a breakdown. It did not make a new low, but it did come fairly close. So with I think everybody's familiar with my charts now with XRP. I'm calling this a W, an X, and then we'll eventually get a Y. But is this X done or is it not done is really going to be the question. Now I can zoom out and we can talk about things. So with XRP, I think it's going to move along with the market. So far, it has found support here. I think this move is fairly ugly. I think we can probably all agree on that. And now, it should come up a little, get smacked down, and then is it going to support? Is it not? That's going to be the question. If it does support, I don't think it's going to be the move to highs. It can, maybe be a move up here, but I don't think it's going to be a move to highs. I'm definitely, so many people were saying that, the floor is almost found and it's going to, or a bottom is found, whatever word you want to use. And then the market's going to take off. And, I don't think that's the case. So XRP, I think, is the same way. I thought XRP was going to break down and go below 20. That's not what happened. It's actually holding up. And, XRP is one of those currencies I just don't trade much of. I don't trade much of it at all. I may have traded it twice, I think. Since I've been in crypto, I've traded it twice. And I've been in crypto since 2017, 2016 maybe. Somewhere in there. Just when I first got into crypto. Just basically buying and selling Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then added a few others. And then last year found Cardano and just kind of, been in it very heavy. But anyway, XRP, I think that the best case right now would be a rejection up here between 45 and 50. And then another move down, and then that can be support. It's possible. Now, if it holds below 42, and makes a new low, that would be very interesting, because that could be like a continuation of things. So if it holds below that, makes a new low, then I'm very curious to see when it comes back up if I can short that maybe. I don't really like to trade XRP, so I probably won't. But in theory, it would be probably a decent short if that scenario did play out. So right now, I'm kind of just waiting, watching, see what's going to happen, and then we'll just go from there. So anyway, hopefully you did enjoy my analysis of the 6 different markets that I like to talk about. 7 markets. This is what I meant to say. So if you have any particular analysis is different than mine, feel free to share down below. There's no right or wrong answers. We're traders. You don't have to be right on your analysis. You just have to be right on your setup. As long as you take the right trade setup, that's all that really matters. So that's how I feel. That's the way it is. So anyway, with that, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you around the crypto markets. Take care.